Thank you. Wow. That's a good start, huh? This is a great evening. I just remembered somebody, I forget who it was over here when I came in, they said of all the going away parties that have been going on the last few weeks, this is the one they've been looking forward to the most. I mean, because of the good food and the drink. I was looking around here, and this is scary, but I'm one of the few employees that was here before Howard got here. Back in, what would you say it was, Margaret, 81?
80.
80. I had that little desk, I was a financial reporter then, and I had the little desk in the financial department where Dave Robinson sits now. And if you remember, where Howard's desk was, it was right out there in the open, in the city room. And I remember when I first met Howard, he came in and shook hands and sat down, and I don't know, he did a couple phone calls. He must have noticed I was looking at him or something. And the next day, the maintenance department's in there building that wall around. Anyway, I still listened in at his phone conversations and watched him work. And while I was doing my financial stuff, and my one thought was, geez, I'm glad I don't work for this guy. And then as fate would have it, there I am working for him. But it turned out to be pretty good. One of the nice things Howard did for me, he assigned me to cover my favorite sport, which is, you all know, is horse racing. And I got to go to some of the big races, the Triple Crown and the Breeders' Cup in New York City. I remember my first year. And but this is a true story. I'm down there in New York at Aqueduct Racetrack and in the hotel and everything. It's great. I'm meeting these writers from Washington and New York and guys I'd seen their bylines in the paper, and they're being real nice to me, and I didn't know who I was from anybody. And then one guy came up to me and he says, you know who this is, Howard? But he says, are you the guy that works for Howard Smith? Oh, you poor thing. But I didn't know what to think, but I thought I'd give him a chance. So, but I wanted to say I've been in the newspapers one way or another for 50 years now, and Howard is not the toughest editor I've had, but he's in the top 3. But he's also in the top 3 of the best editors I've had. I've learned a lot from Howard, and I wrote them down here so I would remember what I learned. He's a stickler for detail. He's a master of planning ahead. He can make us 3 or 4 weeks ahead, Steve. It's a skill. It's a skill. He taught me how to use statistics and numbers to back up a story, but make sure those numbers are right. And he had another skill I noticed. That we used to have a day shift there at the sports department. Howard could come in at 7 in the morning, open up the paper that he didn't work on the night before because he went home early, but he'd spot an error like that, And then he had this clever way of pointing out errors to the rest of the staff, especially to me. I made a few. My favorite one, everybody in sports knows this story, but I'm working the desk one night on the Sunday Outdoors page, and there's a picture of a hunter with in turkey season, he caught a wild turkey, and I didn't write the cut line, but somebody wrote the cut line that Joe Blow from Clarence is admiring the 250-pound turkey that he shot this week. And it went right by me and a couple other editors. I think he called us numbnuts copy editors. A couple days later, Howard didn't exactly take me aside and point out the error in my ways. He put this picture up on the bulletin board of the turkey, and he said underneath, "A turkey the size of Bruce Smith?" I think not. And then I'm sure people will be bringing this up later tonight. There's Howard's people skills. And his telephone skills. Howard taught us all how to deal with the readers out there. Steve remembers this story. It was early one morning. We were kind of under an early deadline, and I'm working what we called the morning slot, which means I was glorified telephone operator. I answered the phone. The guy says, "When's the World Series?" I said, "I don't know." He said he wanted the dates. I guess he was planning his vacation. So I got up and walked over to the reference books there. We didn't have Google in those days. We just went over and I looked at Howard and says, "What are you doing?" I said, "The guy wants to know when's the World Series." He says, "Go tell him to fuck himself."
Some of the words we can't use.
The skill I learned from that, I went back and said, "I'm sorry, sir, that information's not available at this time." But life went on, and a few years ago, when Howard got promoted to managing editor, we all missed him in the sports department, of course, but it was especially fun to see people from the news side come over, lean over the wall there and say, "I can't believe he said this. You won't believe what he told us." And we sit there and go, "Yeah, we believe it." But all good things must come to an end. And I think everyone who worked with Howard will agree that he made us better reporters, better editors, and better journalists. Skills I hope will come in handy next month when we're all looking for work. But thank you, Howard, and good luck on your retirement, and I hope you get many World Series in the future.